position of power, I'll be extracting apologies out of all of you.
Oh, did you see? I guess that whole thing went down in Chicago with the protests, but they were peaceful. The people that were protesting last night in the cold, because there was
the cop shot a guy.
Yeah, that 17-year-old kid was shot 14, 15, 16 times, something like that. It's all on video. They're indicting the cop on first-degree murder charges.
I'm torn on that. People who've watched this show for a long time know sometimes I side with the cops and sometimes I don't. Here's a situation where the guy had a knife. He was within that 21-foot halo of dangerous. I heard he's high on PCP, but he was using the knife to vandalize. He had cut tires. He didn't take a threatening lunge or action. A cop just decided to open fire. The cop didn't have a taser, which probably would have been a better first choice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that makes... I don't know if he's a fuck up for not having a taser. Or
was running away and getting back in his car not an option?
It totally was. Yeah, the guy was... They kind of... There were a lot of police there, because I saw the video. There were, I'm going to make up a number, 5 police cars, in the area. So one might guess, at least 8 police. I don't know. And one of the cops decided to shoot. A lot. I don't want to get my number wrong, but there might have been... There's 12 to 17 shots. Does anyone know?
Shooting him after he
14 to 16. It's somewhere in there. 14 to 16. I don't remember which.
Okay. Yeah. And it seemed like 2 shots and he was down. And then, another 10, 12 shots to...
When would 14 to 16 shots at one guy be necessary?
When you're shooting something other than human, like a chupacabra.
I mean, a guy with a knife, you shot him 16 times.
Now knives are really dangerous. I'm not saying that you can never shoot a guy using a knife, but I saw this guy, and it didn't. There was never that shooting impetus, reaching for something or the thing that would make it. Now it's go time. I'm watching you. I've got my eye on you. All right, and if you tell me to get my hands up,
the one you're talking about.
If you tell me to put my hands up, and I suddenly reach for my cell phone. I kind of cut you some slack, even though I was unarmed and stuff. Compliance is important. You can't be put your hands up. Well, reaching for my wallet inside my coat. Bad timing, dude. It's partly your responsibility for this shooting. This guy is somewhere in between on that. He had a knife in his hand, but also it wasn't like he cocked it into some sort of ready position or anything. And the amount of shots. I get when you decide to shoot, you shoot for kill, et cetera, et cetera. No one shoots to wound, but I don't know. It does seem like it hurts the policeman's case to shoot that many times.
Well, it definitely does.
Yeah.
And I'm always...
It shows signs of an adrenaline rush almost.
Most of these guns I've got here don't even hold that many fucking bullets. Okay? I got to go to this special one here to get that much firepower.
Is that a Glock 17?
Yeah.
But when you say most of these guns, it's just... that
one over there goes a fucking 100 rounds, but...
I was going to say, there's some rifles nearby.
At what point does shooting at one guy with a knife in the over 10 times, where does that fall under to protect and serve?
So it's completely inexcusable in his case because there wasn't that oh shit, here he comes kind of moment. But if you're holding the gun and the guy's coming at you like Jason from the fucking scary movies, I'm not gonna squeeze off 5 and then and see if he's okay. I'm gonna be so terrified. I bet my adrenaline's going, and I'm just going and squeezing as fast as I possibly fucking can.
Did you mean completely inexcusable? Or completely excusable? I think you said
inexcusable what he did because that's obviously murder. But if a guy's coming at me with a knife, and I hear you shot him 15 times, I guess you were out of bullets then, huh? You didn't reload then, eh?
You're not taking a shot and thinking after every one, is he good? That's 1. Is he good?
Yeah.
That's 2.
Yeah. The thing is no, because I think that a police officer takes an oath to protect and serve. They're supposed to, and if you're shooting, you've taken an oath to protect that guy as well. The guy who's trying to stab you, who's on PTB, unfortunately, you've taken an oath to also protect him. And so shooting him 16 times doesn't means that you really had no concern for his welfare either, because it unfortunately the laws do apply to everybody, whether you're a criminal or not, and it's overkill. It's just too much.
Yeah, in that situation, the cop was totally wrong. Like the guy wasn't running at him with a knife. He I didn't have a taser. Well, then maybe one of the other 7 cops there, maybe one of them had a taser. I have a hunch. Like maybe one of them could have done that.
Or shoot the guy in the leg. Shoot him in the leg, and can you just incapacitate him? I mean, did you have to?
That's not something
really open assault on him. Yeah, I know. But that's just it. It's to protect and serve. Like, they're supposed to be people who just maintain order.
Might ricochet one off your kneecap and take Granny out down the road or something.
The cops. I don't know if you've read Rise of the Warrior Cop. If you haven't, check it out sometime. It traces the evolution of sort of the constable up until. Sorry.
You have to turn your camera back.
Yeah, it's coming. I got it. There we go. But it traces the evolution of the old sort of constable, local policeman who was there to protect and serve to the now, where they have an arsenal. Cops have tanks.
And a lot of them are ex-military, so I feel like they just are carrying on their military career in the civilian population, and that has gone too far.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, usually it seems like there's a little more story to these kinds of shootings where it's like, oh, unarmed person shot by cops. And it's like, okay, well, let's see what actually happened here and watch it pan out. This one seems pretty cut and dry of the cop being totally in the wrong. Like,
I feel like there's an 80-20 thing. I mean, the guy was high on PCP with a knife in his hand.
He was, and he was a menace, but he wasn't making a direct, aggressive act towards the cop. Like, yeah, he should have been tased. Should have given him a couple volts of that, probably more than 1 or 2, because PCP tends to make people borderline invincible. But if you don't have the taser, hop back in your giant armored Suburban. Like, he's not going to stab through that.
Right. I mean, you have an entire force behind you that's should be able to protect you, and plus, your job's dangerous. You took an oath to participate in a dangerous job. And, okay, so if you're going to deal with that sort of guy, you can't lose it. You can't lose it and just unload into him. I mean, can you guys see me? I can't see you.
I can see you. I can't see the other two.
John.
Let's call back real quick. Right. I'll just hang up and call back. And everyone's reading this. Here we go. And hang up on Chiz. This will work itself out in a minute.
Is
now
Chiz
I can see.
Yet, or is he transit?
Chiz is back home.
He's back home, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
At least this cop shooting won't have that huge, I guess, debacle of whether or not it was excusable, like most of them do. Like, some asshole will be like, he deserved it, he was on drugs, but...
Well, you wait. He could get off. See, he's been charged with murder, but he'll have the, what is it, the PBA, the Policemen's Benevolence Association, lawyers defending him. He'll say, look, he was a cop in the line of duty. This guy was on PCP, with a knife in his hand, and he could get off.
This guy's not getting off. No way.
Really?
No, the mayor's already called this guy out. He's like, clearly you got an officer here not doing the right thing, not following protocol, and the justice system's going to handle it and punish him. Like, they're already writing this guy off. Like he's done.
They're protesting about it in Chicago, despite how cold it is, so they're taking it pretty serious.
That was it. I think we talked about that on PKA. I was like, I don't think it'll be a big deal because it's very cold out right now.
Very fucking cold.
Yeah, that kind of protest is more of a warm weather activity.
Yeah, if this happened in Miami, it'd be all over the place.
Bloodbath. Bloodbath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. I mean, Rodney King guys got off and there was a tape. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
That was a real beating they gave.
It was just it was like obvious. That's why the whole thing blew up. It was like,
It's like over the top.
It was like the one time where people are like, "See what we're talking about? Look."
I was like, that looks like someone pantomiming a beating. It looks so ridiculous. Like he's just like drawing his arm all the way back, like almost cartoonishly. Like I feel like I almost remember one guy like double fisting the baton while he did it. Like
I feel like that's happened.
He said, "I haven't beaten one this bad in a long time."
Did he say that? Really?
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's happened 10,000 times since then. I feel like
so much bad evidence in that, and it was a powder keg.
It seems like so long as you yell "stop resisting" while you do it, you're in the clear. Do they teach that in like policeman baton courses? Like, what do you say while you beat the perp? Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Well,